I'm Anderson Cooper. Welcome to AC360. Today we'll be recapping what has happened regarding the issue of Title X funding. This past week alone we had a Senate hearing, the Supreme Court case, Planned Parenthood v. Pruitt, and some interesting media interviews. Joining me today we have CNN's political analyst David Gergen, who's also following the issue very closely last week.
Things really got going in the two press conferences at the start of last week. We had statements from President Obama, Speaker Boehner, Majority Leader Cantor, Senator Harkin, Senator Shelby, Planned Parenthood Rep Janine Aberbrook, and Family Research Council Rep Nicole Glantz. We had President Obama give a pleasant speech urging us to celebrate International Women's Day. Let's show a clip of that.
Countries around the globe are more peaceful and prosperous when their female citizens enjoy equal rights, equal voices, and equal opportunities. To win the future, we must equip the young women of today with the knowledge, skills, and equal access to reach for a promise of tomorrow.
We also had a speech by Speaker Boehner.
The fact of the matter is that abortions in the U.S. are detrimental to our society as a whole. Abortions cost our government a lot of money. If we continue to fund Planned Parenthood as usual, we will only be contributing to our deficit.
Next, we had Majority Leader Cantor completely condemn the actions of Planned Parenthood. Then we had Janine and Nicole present two very different takes on Planned Parenthood. We also had Senator Shelby perhaps softening his views on abortion.
You know, in cases where the woman is truly in danger and something can be done to prevent that, I think that we can look at options, but
including abortion?
You know, I'm not going to leave it out of the realm.
I don't think we're expecting that response. Plus, don't forget we had Senator Harkin passionately speaking to the importance of funding Title X.
As chairman of the subcommittee on labor, health and human services, education and related issues, I have been working tirelessly with my fellow senators to ensure that Title X receives funding in the budget. In order to guarantee women access to much needed health services, I find it vital that Title X receives an increase in funding from its funding level in 2010.
But after the two press conferences, the media took over. Anderson, you had Senator Shelby here talking up a storm.
It was quite something to have you on our show. You know, this is a dilemma that I often see in our strategy session. Sometimes we have such captivating guests that it's hard to cut them off.
Planned Parenthood in those videos clearly was aiding those conservative activists, those, you know, warriors sent from heaven, and they were instructing them in how to perform abortions and how to get abortions for their 14-year-old prostitutes. Now,
actually, you're saying how to perform abortions. They never mention how to perform abortions. They give, especially on the Planned Parenthood website, they state how you can appeal to a judge if you are a minor.
well, now that's on the website. What anybody with two eyes would see in that video was Planned Parenthood explaining to those activists how to get abortions for their 14-year-old prostitutes.
Yes, and then you had Janine, the Planned Parenthood rep, trying to get in a word edgewise. Still, we, the viewers, definitely got a sense of Senator Shelby. On the other hand, on Fox's O'Reilly factor, I don't even know what to say. Everyone was talking over each other. Then we had Laura Ingraham telling Senator Harkin to listen, and then Senator Harkin admonishing her for not remembering his status as chairman. Definitely not a moment that will be forgotten.
Of pregnancies, as I said earlier,
That is 3%.
Government funding for contraceptives has resulted in 612,000 unintended pregnancies.
I think this is enough. You're going in circles, you're getting nowhere. The thing is that we, the American public, or the American government as a democracy, needs to focus on the priorities of the American government. And right now, listen. Right now, the priority is... Listen.
Just crazy, really. Same goes for Glenn Beck and his guest Alone in Action from NARAL.
Am I okay with ending a human life? Is that a real question?
That is a real question.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm not okay with ending a human life.
Great.
Wait, you can't, that's taking me out of context. You end this right
Taking
now.
you out of context? That was a full sentence. I'd like to show you a poster. Is that okay with you? You breathe up? We have it. Right here. I'd like you to take a look at this.
Thank you.
1 month in. Let me show you something up here. That's an eye.
Yes.
You're going to look into that eye. Tell me that you're not ending a life.
Well, let's move along to the Senate hearings. The senators questioned Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, Family Research Council Representative Nicole Glantz, And lastly, Planned Parenthood Representative Janine Amerbrook.
Republican Senator Cochran was skeptical of Sebelius' views, and he really tried to use her past statements against her. It led to a slightly awkward moment in the hearing.
Okay, so you're saying that you haven't consistently been pro-choice your whole entire political career?
No, I haven't.
So then why did you say that? No comments. Ooh. Winner.
But the tough question wasn't just for the Republicans. Democratic Senator Mary Landrieu questioned Representative Glantz using the old yes or no technique.
It's not always as easy for women as it is for men. For instance, the situation that we're in right now, it's affecting women, not men. So, in general, would you say that you're supportive of women's rights?
I believe that women have certain rights. However, if you were talking exactly.
No.
However, I think everyone, not just women, I don't think people have a right to kill, and women
That's
should
not what I'm
not
asking.
have.
That's not what I'm asking.
Okay, I was just making sure that you're not leading up to that point, because women should not have the right to terminate these babies who could have lives.
Okay.
And I know especially
I just want to simply answer a question today. That's all I want. So, are you supportive of women's rights, being a female?
Yes.
Okay.
That reminds me, we also had a confusing moment when Senator Hutchison read a quote meant to accuse Planned Parenthood of extreme racism, but she was later corrected by Senator Pryor.
Contrary to what you said, on a CNN interview, the president of Planned Parenthood said, as a matter of fact, we have received contributions from people who want to support us because they want all welfare mothers and black women to stop having children. Besides my feelings against the enormous amount of abortions performed at Planned Parenthood, I cannot and will not support a clinic that promotes an attempted annihilation of the African American race.
And in response to my opponents, I'd just like to say that that comment from the president of Planned Parenthood, that they were saying that there are people that fund them because of that, but they do not support that.
Ultimately, both sides made good points and the hearing proved successful.
Next, we had a short press conference with Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin.
I'm going to start off by stating that the required ultrasound procedure in no way places an undue burden on the woman. Not only is an ultrasound part of the standard medical procedure that is necessary for an abortion, but it also strikes a balance between the interests of the mother and the public's interest in protecting the fetus.
And then we had the Supreme Court case. So much to cover here. Why don't we show a few highlights from that?
Justice and the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of the United States. Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. All persons having business before the Honorable the Supreme Court of the United States are admonished to draw near and give their attention.
Does the Constitution evolve? I do believe that the Constitution evolves, especially looking at the right to privacy Supreme Court cases. One example that I think of specifically is the way the law changed from Griswold to Isaac v. Bear. We need to assume that gestational period and fetal weight are the ultimate determining factors of viability. It is not the reason that these determinations must be made from a physician-to-physician basis is because all pregnancies are different.
We in Oklahoma believe that if we're going to help women get abortions, that they should be the safest possible procedure. And so we want to make sure that if they're going into an abortion, that they are having all the proper treatment leading up to that abortion. So that's why we require that ultrasound take place.
Wondering how you can defend that as being a constitutional issue in protecting what's effectively an object, even though it's not a citizen, it's not protected under the Constitution.
Well, we aren't talking about non-viable fetuses. The state's job is to protect viable fetuses. So at the point of viability, that's when the state's job becomes to protect those human beings from being unduly aborted.
I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks so much for joining me, David.
My pleasure, as always.
I think I can speak for everyone here on the CNN team that it was a pleasure to cover DC this past week, and we all definitely learned a lot. That's it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.